Hello, this is Eleanor Wyatt with the Benji Ministries. We are a small ministry in uh, that works in Uganda. I want to tell you about a little boy named Cyprian. In June of this past year, 2024, the 13-year-old boy collapsed on his way home from school. We learned about it the next week and found this boy totally paralyzed on his right side. We made arrangements to get him from his village of Bulanga to Jinja, to the hospital there. They quickly determined that he had had a hemorrhagic stroke and was paralyzed on his right side. They could not handle it in Jinja, so he needed to be transported to Kampala to the neurosurgeons at the hospital there. They found an aneurysm in his brain that was causing the paralysis, and they it was late night when he was transported by ambulance and arrived in Kampala. In Kampala, the neurologist said the only solution that they had was for him to have aneurysm repair surgery in Kenya, and that was going to cost about $40,000. That was more than our little ministry could handle, and uh, we prayed and continued to pray, but at last, much to his mother's dismay, we had to send him back to his village, and it was not to a good fate that he would spend whatever time he had left laying paralyzed in the bed. However, on September 16th, the Lord healed Cyprian. We found him sitting. He could raise his arms, he could talk, and we began working with him. In October, when I returned to Uganda, I began doing physical therapy with him every week, helping him do exercises and walking, talking, building up his coordination, and they continued to improve. We I was tutored by an OT friend back in the States who was training me so then I could come apply it to Cyprian, and he continued to improve. He was walking, talking, and exercising and continued to do well. We were so blessed to see the result. This boy was expected to be paralyzed his whole life, whatever life was left. His mother, Susan, was so appreciative every week when I would go by there. And we continued to strengthen him. She had so little to give, but she wanted to give me a chicken to say thank you for what we were doing. And when I left in the end of December of 24, Cyprian was standing, singing, and praising the Lord. What's happened since in February of this year, 2025, he has got sick. Nobody would touch him in Jinja because he's a miracle child. There's no explanation for his healing. The doctors are totally stumped. There's no reason. So we had to take him back to his doctors in Kampala to get him treated for malaria and a urinary tract infection. He's also been having nonstop headaches. So they did an assessment of his brain, and they discovered the aneurysm is still there, but miraculously there is no blood leaking out of the aneurysm into his brain. However, they feel like the aneurysm is what is causing the headaches. There is a team of Indian surgeons who are in Kampala for several weeks training the Ugandan surgeons on how to do aneurysm repairs and other brain surgeries. They are amazed at Cyprian. They call him Miracle Boy, and they are willing to do surgical repair on his aneurysm for their cost. Now, that still is going to be approximately $13,500. So it's going to be a challenge. And we want to invite you to pray for Cyprian. And if you are willing to help with this provision, we need $13,500. That is basically for the hospital's costs of everything. It's still a very involved surgery, but these Indian doctors are willing to do this for Cyprian. They are amazed. And the neat thing is God is getting the glory, because there is absolutely nothing in the medical textbooks that explains how Cyprian is walking and talking and raising his hands and giving glory to God. They all say he should have been dead by now. So we need help. We want to see God continue this miracle of Cyprian. If you're willing to help, the link at the bottom will also be included, that you can donate directly to Cyprian's expenses. We need $13,500, and there's a time sensitive, because these Indian surgeons are only going to be in Uganda for another 7 weeks or so until middle of April. So please pray for Cyprian. Please pray for a miracle, and do whatever else the Lord tells you. And we will see that God is the one who is glorified. Thank you so much, and God bless.